Hey, Hickok 45 here. How's that for a contrast in revolvers? Who can guess which one of these babies was made in 1969? Yeah, most of you could guess, couldn't you? We've got the old school and we've got the new school. Yeah, about 40 years difference here between these two babies. This Ruger LCR 22 is definitely not your granddaddy's revolver, is it? Quite a different sort of animal. Look at that frame, polymer, aluminum, with a rubber grip. Wow, no exposed hammer. But that's okay. Lots of revolvers these days don't have exposed hammers. So, Ruger LCR 22, long rifle. We're going to take a couple shots with it. I'll put my ears on because even a 22 can do some damage to your ears, even though it may not make them bleed or feel like they're going to bleed. Now, let's see, should I shoot a double action or single action? What do you think? What would y'all prefer? I guess since I can't get to the hammer, we'll shoot double action. Got him. Wow, it actually shoots. Well, let's get brave and try a 2-liter double action. Hey, all right. Proud of myself. Let's try another one. Whoa. Hey, even a 22. Oh, here's a couple of smaller drinks. Nice. Click. Okay. Did you count the shots? It is 8 shots. Not bad, huh? Yeah, it's an interesting firearm. It's been out a year and a half, I guess. It's not a brand new gun or not. You've probably seen the, if you prowl around gun shops or gun shows at all, you've seen the LCRs and 38 Special and 357 Magnum. This firearm is out, and now it's out in 22. It has been out in 22 for a while. I think it's available in 22 Magnum even. So it's just the further evolution of this this little revolver from Ruger. It's about as high tech as you get in terms of a revolver, I guess, in terms of materials and everything. You have as much aluminum in the frame as they could get in there, and still with a steel sleeve in the barrel, and you have a stainless steel cylinder. The cylinder is not polymer or anything. All the key parts, and that's true for any firearm, isn't it? You see a lot of polymer these days, and even aluminum. The parts that matter, though, gun companies have enough sense to make them out of the proper materials. Just like when you have a alloy receiver on a shotgun, all the lockup parts and everything are steel. So pretty good. I'm hand in front of the barrel there, and of course I know it's not loaded. It's still not good. Interesting firearm. I have to say, it feels good. It's got a bigger grip than the typical old J-frame. That's one thing some people love. I mean, dearly love it. One reason they buy it probably just the ideal grip. It fills your hand. It feels great. I prefer a little boot grip, a little bit smaller, like on my Smith & Wesson 642, because I do consider these pocket revolvers. However, could be carried any way you want to, or not carried, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's go ahead and put some bullets in it, some more ammo, okay? 22 long rifle. These are CCI. It's gotten to where that's all I shoot almost. We've talked about that. I'm tired of some of this cheap 22 bulk ammo giving me trouble. Now in a revolver like this, it wouldn't be quite as annoying as in a semi-automatic pistol that tends to hang up when it gets dirty anyway. So holds 8 rounds, and that's neat. There's something neat about and I've always liked a double action 22 where the cylinder swings out and you can reload it. You've seen, I hope, you longtime viewers, the one that my dad left me. It holds 9, I think. It's an old Revelation, high standard, and it's easy to load fairly quickly, and what you would consider high capacity for a revolver. There are a lot of 22 revolvers out there that hold 6 rounds. Even some of the old, the old Smith & Wesson, which are built like a tank when you think about a 22. How much steel do you need in a cylinder to fire a 22? You take an old, what model is it? Model 17 maybe, if I'm correct. I'm not sure, but it's a Smith & Wesson. It feels like the 357 Magnum, same weight and everything just about. And it just holds 6, and you got room for all these other holes in the cylinder. So I've always thought, and now they do that, they make them to hold more. But it'd be cool if those old ones held more. That'd be more attractive. Now this is only double action. Has a pretty good double action trigger pull. It's 7 or 8 pounds. It's a little gritty. I think it's not as good as some of the other Rugers, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. Or else I couldn't have popped those 2 liters there for sure. Let's see what else I might be able to hit. Let's go on out to the gong. What the heck? Now I'm going to get really steady. Now the gong is not small, but it's out there pretty far, right? And I'm going to see if I can land some on it. I think I have to hold right in the middle. The biggest problem is, you know, maintaining your trigger, your sight picture, while you pull that trigger all the way back. Got him that time, I think. There we go, I hear it, yeah. Oh, empty already, okay. It's hard to hear with a 22 because it doesn't slam into it with a lot of lead, does it? This thing has a barrel length of under 2 inches. I think it's about 1.8 something. So you've got a really short barrel, a very lightweight gun, weighs under a pound. The entire firearm does, unloaded. Under a pound. That's pretty amazing. It is very, very light. That's one of the attractions to it. Let's try it. Let's see if it's ambidextrous. There it is. Now that's an old can that quit working. I may be sorry I'm shooting this close. That paint can. Yeah. Don't get too close to those. That's better. Not bad, not bad. Now you might be asking yourself, why would they make a pocket pistol like this? It looks like a defensive firearm. It's like the 38 357 in this firearm, which you would generally think of as a defensive firearm. Why are they making a 22 long rifle? Who would want that? Not a lot of people, but I'm not going to be the judge of people who buy this for self-defense. There are people who are just not going to have a firearm if it's bigger than a 22, though. Let's face facts. Could be your grandmother. It could be somebody that's I don't know, they're in really bad health. A 9mm would knock them over, or they just don't feel like they could even shoot anything that's center fire. So there probably is a niche. There are people that would consider this, okay, that's what I want. I am not interested in a 9mm. I never will be, for whatever reason. And it's either this or a big stick. So if you leave me with that decision, this or a big stick, I'll take this myself. Because while 22 is not ideal, you've got a handy little package. It feels great, and boom, 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 boom. You can crank them out, and 22 is lethal. So it's a gun. Put it that way. It's a gun, and with some high quality ammo, maybe higher velocity ammo. Again, it beats throwing a rock or a stick. So for maybe certain individuals, let's do that. Let's just pretend we have to defend ourselves here with it. I don't have a holster with it, but let's just take some shots. So it points well, and with that trigger control, a little practice, I mean, you can hit what you need to hit. So I'm not going to belabor that point, but let's face it, this is not exactly a long-range target gun, is it? So people probably are buying it for that purpose, and we can give them a hard time if we want to, but it is a gun, and it's a neat little gun. I like it because it's I don't know, the size, and it's really shootable and just fun to shoot. This is not a T&E gun, by the way. This is a gift, really, kind of a quote-unquote retirement gift when I quit teaching. A parent gave me a big chunk of Bass Pro gift certificate and some colleagues and everything. And I'm not just going to take these and go buy pair of underwear or t-shirt, I think I'll go get a gun, kind of a remembrance, and so that's what I did. I went to Bass Pro, where I really don't buy guns. I like Bass Pro fine, but I hate to buy guns anywhere where they walk you to the door with it. I just have a thing about that. But I like Bass Pro. I won't give them too hard a time. So I just looked through the case and tried to find something I did not have already. That took a while. And I saw this in there. I thought, well, no, that's a nifty little gun. I've never even, it was just kind of not on my radar. I forgot that they make this, And so I bought that. And so it's kind of a retirement gift. For an old guy, who really is recoil sensitive, and I can only handle, the recoil of a 22. And even that hurts me. So here I am with a 22. Nice. I wonder if it'll knock the tree limbs around. Not hardly. Not hardly. Let's try that propane tank over there. All right. I hear the sound. I don't have many rounds left. Let me get brave and try that little bitty pig, because it might knock it off. If I hit it, of course. Minor detail. Hey! I think that was on the last round. It was. All right. So, like I say, I don't know where the first two went, but I felt like I was holding pretty much right on it. Even though with a short barrel, and that's one of my little, what should I say, points of education since we started this project, is to get into people's heads that short barrels are accurate, can be accurate, and are accurate inherently. It's just they're a little bit harder to shoot sometimes, but not necessarily. So I don't think I did very well on the gong. I feel bad about that. I don't think I could sleep well tonight if I don't hit it a couple more times. See if I can figure out where to hold and how to keep the sights on it. Ah, got it. I think right in the middle, actually. Seems like leveled up right in the middle. The challenge is not moving during that long trigger pull. All right. Hey, that's better. I feel better. Click. Nice. Nifty little gun, I tell you. I'll have to shoot it one more time here. If we have anything else left to shoot, we'll find something. Let's see, before I load it, is there anything here I didn't? You've got the Hogue grips, mono grip. And if you've never held those, you've never held one of these pistols, it may look so ugly to you that you've never been able to hold one, because this is what you think a pistol, a small revolver, should look like. Well, I mean, I agree in a lot of ways, but then again, I mean, high tech has come to the firearms world a long time ago, as we know. And so I think we've all gotten accustomed to seeing things like this. And if they function, and if they function well and they serve a purpose, I think most of us have come to terms with it, even if it's fairly ugly. And a lot of polymer pistols that are incredible firearms are not pretty, let's face it. But the things they've done, look at that cylinder. Because it's a 22, you don't need all that metal, right? So they've ground that out, and I guess that's one reason the firearm is not cheap. It runs over $500 basically, 500 and a little bit more. Just the milling and everything on that cylinder to decrease the weight. So and then all the other things they do. Part of the frame is polymer, part of it's aluminum, and it's steel where it needs to be. And it just seems to work well. It's got a good double action. So, it's just is what it is. It ain't pretty, but pretty is as pretty does. Somebody said that. Was that? I don't know who said that. Probably William Shakespeare, right? He or Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay. Let's, we've got a couple of pots. Let's see what we can do with those. Now, I forgot. Let me try these. I got this new target we bought several months ago at Knob Creek. It holds, what are those called? Clay pigeons, we need to, well, we'll leave it up and use it now. Clay pigeons, sometimes they don't shatter when you hit them with a 22. They just get a little hole in them. We'll see if we can hit one. See? Isn't that funny? I think the older clay pigeons from the old days would shatter no matter what you hit them with. Let's try the second one. There we go. I think that one or not. Let's try him again. There we go. They make cool little targets. I'll tell you something else about a double action revolver like this. I think they really help you with trigger discipline, sight discipline, because you know what I'm having to do, anything I have hit has required that I hold that thing on target all the way back, and you see what has to happen there. Has to, you know, you're turning the cylinder and coming all the way back, and again, it's about an 8-pound trigger pull or something. So that is good stuff. It's fun, and I don't know, it just helps, I think, helps a shooter work on keeping that sight picture where it needs to be when the trigger finally does break. So pretty cool. You know, anyway, this is my gun. I'll keep it always, and I actually kind of like it. You know, it's hard to define why, explain why exactly, because it doesn't look much like a target gun, but it's pretty cool. It could be a cool little gun just you know, around the farm. You know, kind of a trail gun. Weighs nothing. You know, it's like 14 point some ounces or something. Weighs nothing, and even loaded with 22 ammo doesn't exactly bring it up to 5 pounds, right? So, you know, even though it's a 22, you got 8 shots of it, and it is a gun. It is a gun, and it seems to be pretty reliable. We've not had any trouble with it. Have shot it a little bit before the video and cleaned it a couple of times, so pretty neat. The LCR and 22 long rifle. Life is good.